setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. I'm glad you are here with me. It's a beautiful day. I got up this morning. I always let my dogs out. Exactly at 5 o'clock. I tell you, it's like an alarm clock. I can hear them. They want out. And so I have to get up, go downstairs, let them out. But as I was looking up at the sky, I noticed that the sun was coming up. So as soon as the dogs were done, I ran up to my second floor, looked out the window, took a picture. And there was a bright orange coming up over the Atlantic Ocean on the sunrise for this morning. And it was a beautiful sight. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I experienced this because it really starts the day out on a positive note, right? I tell you, over the last few months and weeks and years, we have only heard negative, right? The whole society or the whole media source that comes into our ears is nothing but negative. It's always something big is going to happen. Somebody's going to fall or something. But I say this morning, on the rising of the sun, every one of us have equal opportunity to do something great today. It's up to us. It doesn't have anything to do with the media. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with government, because government really doesn't solve anything. But it's up to us. So we rose up, and I thought, gosh, this is a great morning. I'm writing a new book at the moment, and it's called Per God on Business. And I'm going over so many books in the Bible that talk about business, how we should manage our money, how we should treat people in business, how we should negotiate our contracts. It's all in the Bible. It's there. It's just that sometimes we fail to realize it's there. So I'm writing this new book, Per God on Business. And as I was writing I do a vlog every single day on Instagram. And it's called Per God on Business. This morning, I was looking at how diligently we work. How diligently we really focus on what we do in our life. How we contribute. The quality of the content that we produce every day. The quality of the work that we provide our clients. Now, if you really want to know anything about good and evil and how to make really good decisions, the book of Proverbs is probably the best book out there. I love it. I read it every single day. If you were to look at my old Bible, it's all crumpled up. Pages are bent over on the tops. And the book of Proverbs is marked up with every color I think that I had when I was a kid. I've had this book ever since I was a child. But there's one verse in that book, and it goes like this: whoever works his land will have plenty of bread. But he who follows worthless pursuits will have plenty of poverty. Now, I've known that for a fact through my life experience, that if I do not work hard, I can't depend upon other people to provide me with something. I have to work hard. I have to build something. But if I am the type of person that is willing to say, okay, I want money really fast, I want success really fast, those are the individuals those are the types of pursuits, I should say, that will lead you to plenty of poverty. I'm going to talk about my friend Nonoy. Nonoy was in this when we were in college together. He was a bright guy. Very bright guy. And I still like the guy. I don't know where he is at the moment. but I've always liked Illinois. But he got caught up into multi-level marketing schemes. I mean, not just one, but several. And those type of schemes never lead you to anywhere. And he has been following scheme after scheme after scheme throughout his whole life. And he's lost a lot. Hasn't gained anything, but he's lost a lot. The problem with multi-level marketing plans, a lot of them anyway, is you get caught up. It almost becomes like a virus. And I remember he came to my house one day and he wanted to sell me this water treatment thing. And I let him do his spiel, and I said, you know what, no, this just doesn't fit into my life of what I have at the moment. And he packed everything up, and I never saw him again. I heard about him because other friends saw him around town. Same situation. Where he cut people off very quickly because they did not agree with what he was doing, or the product that he was selling. And he kept chasing this dream time after time after time because they promised them new cars and all of this stuff. But he's been living literally on the edge the majority of his life, since college until now. And sometimes we go after these pursuits because we see other bling bling up there that makes us think, I should say, that we can have that too. It's all about showmanship. It's all about this nonsense of if you think you have something, if you think you can get to that car, that Rolex watch on your arm, that you've made it, that you've become a success. But in actuality, what's happened is that you have built nothing. What you have built is a really bad reputation. And you're really cool with the people in your group. But everyone that's looking outside and looking in at you are seeing nothing but failure after failure after failure, because you have had a pursuit of the bling, but not building anything of value. So that's us in business. What are we building? If you are a professional, what quality of content and quality of services are you providing to make you stand out above all others? What are you building? I don't measure anybody by what kind of a car that they drive, or what kind of suit that they're wearing, and the list goes on of things, right? Things that we think are successful. I don't ever measure that. And I'll tell you the reason why. I had these two individuals who own a mortgage company. And they wanted to appear that they were successful. So they went out and they bought Rolex watches, but they were used Rolex watches. But they wanted to make that appearance that there was somebody wearing a Rolex watch. Unfortunately, their businesses failed. Their pursuit failed because they lost the vision of what they wanted to do with that company. Instead of growing during the hot time during the mortgage industry, they went down. They lost money. But they had the Rolex watch on their arm. They were driving the cool car. So to me, success is based upon what have you built and what have you contributed back. Building a business is a tough job because you have to focus on it every day of the week. And it's always in the back of your mind 24 hours a day. I've been there, I know. I have built companies, sold them off, gotten rid of them, shut them down. I have been through it all. But the quality of the person is the individual who doesn't care what he looks like, but cares about what he builds. Because that building of something is what he's going to pass on to his next generation. Or what he's going to sell to retire on. Or what he's going to sell to invest into something else. Because the focus and the pursuit of always building is what makes you a quality business person. So as Proverbs said, whoever works his land, he will have plenty of bread. So I've told this to so many people starting up in business. Focus on just your business. The money will come because God's going to provide it. The money will come. If you have built something of value to other people, the money will come. If you focus only on the money, you will fail. I hate failure. I've been through failure. You learn from failure. But a lot of people don't learn from failure, and they are so in pursuit of that dollar, that Rolex watch, that Bentley, that whatever bling that they think that they can have, but they forget about the actual building process of a business to make it into something great. So people don't sit down. They don't sit down and plan. They don't put their budgets together. They don't do it because they're so in pursuit of how much cash do I have now to buy whatever I want to do. Instead of, I have the cash available now. What can I invest in my company or into another company that will enhance my business and grow my business and make it a solid enterprise? I tell you, I love business. I have been around business. Listen, I started my firm in 1984, so I've been around for a long time. I've seen almost every industry, from the shipping business to the cogeneration power business, to construction, to real estate, to healthcare. I have been involved in almost every type of business, and I have loved every moment in it because it was a learning experience for me. There were sometimes where I took on projects that I did not know what I was doing. But I tell you, I told the people I can do it, and then I created something that was of value to them. I love business. I just love. Ever since even when I was a little kid, I would sit in the back of my dad's big old Oldsmobile. Back then, they were big mothers. I tell you, they were honkin' mothers. But I would sit there and I would pretend I would have a driver. I was always reading the Wall Street Journal, even as a kid. Now, back then, the Wall Street Journal was a good publication, because it really told you what was going on in the business world. But now, the Wall Street Journal has become this political-based operation that I don't even read anymore. I literally have not read the Wall Street Journal in years. I hate it when things get mixed up with politics. And listen, I'm guilty of that too, because there are times, well, I have to do it, but there are times where I'm looking at politics and how it's going to affect business, and I have to speak out about it. But I hate politics. I hate it. It's a dirty, rotten, scoundrel type of business, where everybody's lying to each other. Everybody's shaking each other's hands and then talking behind each other's back. That is not quality. But you have to deal with it every once in a while because it affects your business. But sometimes, and I have been guilty of this over the past elections, of not focusing on what my business should be and focusing on what my political agenda was. for the nation or for the state. So I had to learn very quickly that you can't be so foolish. I already know how I'm going to vote. I know that. So I've made my decision. So since I have made my decision, I'm going to focus on the business at hand. Sometimes we get caught up in so many other different things that we forget and we stray away from what our agenda is for our business. That's why I tell everybody, and I do this myself. I have a journal. I sit down. I put down my plans, what my plan of action is going to be. I tweak it throughout the year. But I follow the plan. I know where I need to be by the end of the year or by the end of the quarter or quarters. But sometimes we go off into this other pursuit of other things, of things that we want, instead of focusing on what the needs of the business really is and how we need to get there. I love business, and I love the business people out there. I remember one time, I was in the Philippines, and where my condo was right next to one of the top law schools, Ateneo School of Law. It was right next to my condo. Well, right next to that was a Starbucks, and that's where all the students would go. So I would walk over there at night because all the students would be in there. They were business law people. They were contract law people. And I would listen to their conversations. And I remember thinking at that point in time, I said, gosh, I wish I was starting all over again because I know so much. I know so much now. I know exactly how I would restart life if I was at that age. The best kind of debates I have ever had are with young people who are at the beginning of their life. They have been taught a certain way, but they have not been taught the ways of business life. And what happens on a daily basis in the decision-making process and the legal processes that go through everything when you're owning a business. And I always told them, I said, you can never think about the money, you can never think about the bling, you can never think about your status. You have to think about what you're doing right now for that client, for that business, for your business. Build yourself a team. And you tell that team what your plan, what your agenda is. Get their feedback. So we can't be fools, right? We can't be fools that go off in the pursuit of something fast and easy, because fast and easy ends very quickly. When you build something that's solid and strong, it lasts for a long time. But when you're after that fast buck or that fast raise or that fast bling or whatever you want, or the selfish things that you want personally, you lose focus and you fail. I love business. I'm telling you, I can say that over and over and over again because business is really a creative process. It's a creative process that you're thinking about constantly every single day. How can I do something better? This is what I have on my plan. How can I do it better? How can I motivate my people, my project team? How can I motivate them to get to that point where I want to go? How can I be creative in the content that I'm putting out every single day? How can I resolve differences so that they turn into opportunities? Those are the kinds of things that you're thinking about every single day as you go throughout your life in business. How can I be better, stronger, bigger? I love business. I'm going to say that over and over again because I truly do. And I truly enjoy sitting down with people who are starting up or people who are having difficulty within their current companies. Sometimes you get a little stuck and you need a helping hand, so they call me in to talk with them or to mediate something. Remember, every single problem there's an answer to it. There is an answer to every single problem. You just need to be open-minded and be able to work on finding that answer. Sometimes that answer is sitting right in front of you, and sometimes it's getting a third opinion to come in and take a look and say, okay, this is the issue. You can't see it because you're blinded by what you're doing. I've been in that situation several times with clients who literally get frozen. They get frozen. And let me tell you, that freezing feeling can be thawed out very quickly when you bring in a third party that can literally see it when you can't see it. Business is an art form, and I love it. I don't know if you've ever read the book, The Art of War. Somebody should write a book on the art of business, because it is a war. You are fighting a battle every single day, and if you have the guts and if you've got the ability to fight on, you will make it. You will make it. Business is an art form, and you're always creating every single day. Now, it's hard. There are going to be some very tough times. You may even go through a crisis or two, but you come out a better person. You become out a stronger person, a much patient person. Listen, I have gone through some really bad crises in my life of business, but I came out stronger. And I tell you, I am much more patient. And I listen much more carefully. Because now I'm listening for certain things. And I'm listening to people who are either telling me the truth or not telling me the truth. I can spot it in an instant now. I've been through it all. But it's what we build. It's what we do in business. We build things. We build things. Listen, this is Mike Lodge. If you have any questions or comments, send me over a text at 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. Be more than happy to talk to you about anything. If you need help, if you need guidance, if you need mediation, if you're having a dispute within your company, just call me. I'm ready to go. Again, text me at 818-252-5682. I want everybody to go out. We had a beautiful sunset this morning, which means we can do anything. Get out there and do it. This is Mike Lodge. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast is produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.